If you were asked to find a section in the Torah that could shed some light and some wisdom on what we are all collectively going through as a community today, you would be hard-pressed to find a better Sedra than what we're reading in Shul this week. When we read the combined Sedras of Tazria-Metzora, which spends a great deal of time talking about tzara'at, a skin ailment, which is often mistranslated as leprosy. But it was some sort of skin affliction. And it was the job of the Kohen, who is the priest, or basically was also the healthcare provider for their community, to check the individual and to determine whether they were afflicted with tzara'at. And if they were found to be afflicted with that, then the priest would impose upon them a period of 7 days of social distancing. Then the Kohen would go back a week later and see if they had recovered and to determine whether it was safe for that person to come back to the community. So wow, that's really kind of what we're going through today, although periods of time much greater than 7 days. And in this case, we're all being forced to be socially distant from one another. So we can certainly relate on some level to this week's Torah portion. But if there's one thing that Jewish tradition really understands, is how difficult it is for us to be separated from the community. We are meant to be together. That's why our prayer services are built on having a minyan, having that necessary quorum of 10 individuals. And when we are not together, it is very painful, it is very challenging on so many levels. So the wisdom of our tradition is that when it comes to something like this distancing from one another, we understand that this is not something to be taken lightly. And in fact, in the biblical period, when a person was forced to be separated from the community, it was the job of the Kohen to check in on them regularly. So in that way, this person who was suffering from tzara'at was afforded a great deal of support from the community. And I know that many of you are doing the same thing. You're calling friends, neighbors, relatives, those that are shut in, trying to make sure people feel connected to one another. We're trying to do that as a community through Zoom, through streaming, and I just want to encourage you to keep doing that and to tell you that the work that you are doing is as important as what the Kohen was doing in this week's Torah portion. That is very holy, sacred work, trying to make sure that people don't feel alone, that they feel connected to the community. So continue to do that. And I know we all look forward to the time when we can get back together in person. And until that happens, we will stay strong and we will stay connected any way we can. Shabbat Shalom.